So interestingly, when I started making these videos, I was going to try and stay away from such subjects, but when you do dive into it, you're like, well, there's no way we can actually avoid it because the internet has gone crazy and everybody wants to chat about it. So let's just make things very clear before we get in. Right now, we don't know what's going on. Most people don't know what's going on. It's all speculation, it's all rumor, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's nice to engage in debate and it's nice to engage in intellectual discussion. At the same time, everyone just needs to calm down and we have to wait and see. What am I talking about? Well, of course, I'm talking about this rumor that is circulating at the moment that maybe, just maybe, Nick Khan and Triple H and a bunch of WWE executives did meet up with Warner Brothers Discovery, who are a TV channel, as you do know. They run TNT and TBS, which currently All Elite Wrestling is featured on. And apparently Tony Khan is also talking about WBD about new TV deals, because we know the SmackDown is leaving Fox, that's going back to USA Network, and we know that the Raw rights are up in the air. And a few weeks ago somebody told us, oh no, Warner Brothers Discovery, I'm not interested in Monday Night Raw, and then apparently CM Punk jumped back to WWE. Honestly, it's like a fairy tale, and now they're interested again. Now, this is all interesting stuff. It's a business side of a business, and you can always dive into that. I like to try and keep it as much as possible from a fan perspective. And that kind of does tie into what we're going to talk about today, because when you're on that there old Twitter, and that there on internet, X, whatever the hell we're calling it, and you see some of the mire that people get into, I find it absolutely crazy. And look, you can debate WWE versus AEW and AEW versus WWE as much as you want. Who has the better wrestlers? Who has the better performers? What would be the dream matches? You know, who would be better over there and vice versa? All of that is cool. It's fantasy booking. I think sometimes in 2023, we almost cast too much of a negative net over that. If you are one of these people, this is the one that we need to kill, someone we need to get rid of, ping, and fling it over there. If you're one of these people that is like, oh man, I hope that Raw does go to Warner Brothers so we can finish off AEW, look at the face I'm giving you. It's one of a disappointed parent. So I'm not telling you that you have to watch any wrestling promotion on the planet. If you want to watch WWE, great. If you want to watch New Japan, great. If you only want to watch Mid-South from whatever era, you should be allowed to do that. It's a form of entertainment, and you need to take your entertainment dollars and spend them however you see fit. But there is no two ways about it. Professional wrestling, much like any other entity that exists on this planet, is better when you do have competition. Now, it doesn't have to be direct competition. I would argue probably now WWE has actually taken even more steps forward in terms of cementing their number one position. But that doesn't mean that AEW can't be an amazing number two, which I do think they are. And that doesn't mean that can't have ramifications that stretch across the entire industry. For example, what is one of the reasons why WWE is so hot right now? It's more than one tick box, but absolutely one of the bullet points we could put in there and should put in there is the birth of AEW back in 2019, because that would light a fire under anybody's ass. Doesn't matter what we're talking about here, wrestling, football, movies, books, music. If all of a sudden you are feeling the heat, you may sit down and you may just a little bit more critically look at your product, look at your roster, look at what you're putting out there and say, well, we need to change that because we know that's not working, and we need to make sure that nobody comes close to us because, you know, we're top of the tree and we want to stay there. We're experiencing a nice breeze. So if AEW did go tomorrow, look at all the bad stuff that would come on it. Could you make the argument that maybe WWE falls back into a little bit of a plateau? Yes, absolutely. Once again, it's not because they're WWE, it's because they're run by human beings and we all do it. Number two, does that mean there is now less places for wrestlers to work? Yes. Why the hell would you want to put people out of employment? That is absolutely crazy. And three, does it also mean there's going to be less money going around? Obviously, because if you are a Seth Rollins, who once again will go back into the rumor mill, apparently Seth Rollins' deal is up in the summer of 2023. Now, do I think that he's going to go to AEW? I say I don't think so, and I'm underlining that thing. If you had told me about CM Punk's journey, I never would have believed you. So maybe he does, but my gut tells me that he's not going to. But should he reach out and get an offer from AEW? Of course he should. Or should he say to WWE, well, I'm going to need a few more zeros on the end of that number because now I have options. Yes, that doesn't make him a dickhead. That doesn't make him an asshole. It doesn't make him a hypocrite. It doesn't make him a Judas, whichever word we want to use. It makes him a smart businessman. Everybody does this. Everybody does this. When you break it down and remember it's just a job, you want to make sure that if you are in a position to earn as much money as possible, you should, especially when it comes to WWE. Again, they're going to run their business however they want to run their business. What do I know? Not a lot. I couldn't even keep my hair. However, when it gets to percentages, the amount of money they make overall and the money they do pay to their talent, the percentage should be way higher, and it's not. So if Seth Rollins can get an extra 1 million, 2 million, absolutely should. And of course, if AEW is there coming into play, that's going to change things. It just is. And it's also just better being a wrestling fan. Look at the, I don't even know what the right word would be, the rebirth of CM Punk, the return of CM Punk, whatever you want to call it, right? Somehow, he now feels hotter than ever. And I don't think any of it happens without AEW. I truly, truly don't. I just don't think it does. I don't think we get all the Roman Reigns stuff. I don't think we get the patient storylines. I don't think we get the push to try and make people like Jey Uso a star, or make sure that Drew McIntyre has this new edge to him, or put Sami Zayn in that amazing position, or always make sure that Kevin Owens is the absolute man. I don't think it happens. And I'm not saying that it's a thing they do every single day. They don't wake up and go, we're God, a criminal AEW, and therefore we're going to do X, Y, and Z. It's just a natural thing because this is what people do. And it's the same for AEW as well. They need that dangling carrot. Of course, Tony Khan wants to be number one. Now, I'm sure he's smart and intelligent enough to realize that WWE just has too much of a head start. You can't change history. You can't get a DeLorean and go back in time. And even if you can, as Back to the Future showed us, you absolutely shouldn't. You screw everything up. But of course, there's other things that he can do. Maybe he can be more competitive in certain demographics. Maybe he can be more competitive when it comes to ad revenue. Maybe, yes, he can land himself a very successful television deal, which makes the company profitable, meaning we're going to have them for another 5, 10, 15, or 25 years. And let's not forget as well, when WCW was hot, I love WCW. In the 2000s, it was an absolute dumpster fire, but I still got some kind of enjoyment out of it. But let's say that WCW got hot in 1996, and then by 1999, they were really struggling. That's me being a little bit conservative, if we're being honest. We'll call that 4 years, right? AEW has now been going for 5. So the fact they've had 5 years of success, I saw Chris Jericho on Chris Van Fleet's show the other day, Insight, you should check it out. It's a very, very good listen. And he said he actually thinks they're ahead of where they expected to be. And I think that's totally true because it's so damn hard to start a wrestling company up, given the lay of the land. I mean, that's what all the wrestlers said. They were like, yeah, we'll believe it when we see it, because so many people always say, oh, we're going to be a competitor. But the fact that they are, to whatever extent that you want to talk about, again, there's the comments and subscribe when you're down there. Buy one of my stupid t-shirts from Pro Wrestling Tees. That's why I'm wearing it today. This is what I really care about when it comes to sports entertainment, goofy wrestling for life. That aside, I think they have done so damn well, punctuated by the fact that in August 2023, they sold 80,000 seats, or whatever, let's say 70,000. People go crazy about that. They sold a ton of seats for that Wembley Stadium show, and when it comes to the 2024 version, they're about to hit 40,000, even if it tops out at 50,000. Do you know how many people 50,000 is? And once again, if we went back to that first ever Dynamite, and I told you that in 2024, this company is going to be selling 50,000 seats across the pond in London's biggest stadium, or England's biggest stadium, you wouldn't have believed me, you would have slapped me around the face, and you would have been more right to have done it, because it would have sounded like I was talking poppycock. So then all of a sudden, you do have people wishing death on both companies. Let's not pretend it doesn't happen both ways, because it does. I sit there, and I just find it completely perplexing. Just don't like them. Do we not remember the old saying that if you haven't got anything nice to say about anybody, don't say it at all? Even if you think that All Elite Wrestling is putting out the worst wrestling content ever, you can just turn it off. You can mute all the references to it on Twitter. You don't have to engage with it at all. And it's the same with WWE. But we don't do that. We did a video on this too. We take pictures of empty sections in arenas, and we kind of take joy out of the fact. Let's say, I don't think those pictures are accurate anyway, because I think if you're going to do it, show the whole damn arena, right? Otherwise, what evidence are you actually providing? But let's say that somebody does pull a bad house, to use the specific terms. You shouldn't dance on somebody's grave. You should have one of two emotions. Either you are a fan and you really hope they turn it around, or two, you don't give a flub. What do you care? Do you not have any real problems in your life? If your problem on today, what is it today? It is the 15th of December, Friday the 15th of December. If your main problem today is that you woke up and you were like, oh man, AEW had a bad house. You're a crazy person. And you need to get real problems. And actually, you should be doing the dance of joy because your life is amazing. Your number one problem you have in your life is what a wrestling company is selling when it comes to tickets. No finance problems, no relationship problems, no health problems, no business problems, no nothing. Honestly, I would give you a hug, but I wouldn't, because you probably have a problem with that too. I just find it boring, and I think it takes away from what we should be talking about. And look, what a hypocrite I've become. Everyone boo me, boo, boo, Miller, you suck, which is the product itself. Because going into 2024, I think both companies have the chance to have maybe some of the best stuff we've ever seen in professional wrestling. I mean, WrestleMania 40 and the Royal Rumble, it's setting up to be maybe some of the best ever. I think the Royal Rumble could potentially sell 50,000 tickets in itself, which is also incredible. And I think the C2 has been so interesting and almost redefined, but redefined what AEW is, which is just, hey man, you want to watch some good wrestling, make sure you tune into Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. And if they get the devil reveal right, I actually think that could tie into the sports entertainment side too, and it could light a fire under it. And also there's this conspiracy theory going around at the moment that maybe the devil is two people, because apparently if you look at some of the masks, they do change. And it's funny because the other day I said to someone, shout out to my man Brett, randomly, I said to him, oh, what if it's both MJF and Adam Cole, and they are still working together, but they just wanted to wipe out everybody? That could actually happen. I'd also love to see Mustafa Ali in AEW. I think you really could do something with him too. And there's a rumor that Dolph Ziggler may pop up as well. I know that AEW has too many individuals. That is true. But again, a brand new year brings brand new opportunities. And maybe if we kind of make a better barrier in between the AEW Ring of Honor stuff, then we can put some people to the left and we can put some people to the right. But I just know that going into the next 12 months, given how much I've enjoyed the previous 12 months, it could genuinely be some of the most fun I've ever had watching wrestling. And that's why I watch wrestling, to have fun. And sometimes it's crap. And you know what I do? Shrug emoji, and I move on to something else. What the hell is a shrug emoji? You know what I'm saying here? I just forget about it. I do not let it drag me down. Some people say, oh, Simon, you're a problem fan because you just accept everything. Yes, because it's human beings trying to do a good job. No one goes out there intentionally wanting to crap the bed, and also because they are professionals, they know before any of us when they've made a mistake, so I would rather be as pleasant as I can about it. That's why my name is Simon Miller, and you may have even accidentally tuned into the positive corner of professional wrestling craziness. Before you do go as well, please do click the video on the screen right now, which will be about the AEW arena crazy stuff that everybody melted down about. Just like the video and share the video. Check out grillermind.com/Simon to get some supplements that I promise you will like if you're into your fitness. I've mentioned my t-shirts again. Just spend 30 seconds perusing that information box, and if something takes your fancy, give it a click, and that would absolutely rock. But otherwise, man, I'm going to keep telling you this until I die. Enjoy professional wrestling. It just makes it oh so much easier. Take care. Goodbye.